Thornbridge feud. England, circa 1264. The kingdom is divided between royalist forces loyal to King Henry III and the rebellious barons supporting Simon de Montfort. Amid this national crisis, personal rivalries erupt in forgotten corners of the realm. In the shire of Northmarch, two minor noble houses, House Alric of Thornbridge, who are royalists, and House de Werric of Hollowbrook, who are rebel-aligned, are locked in a bitter territorial feud. With the crown distracted by civil war, old grievances resurface. What began as a border dispute escalates into raids, skirmishes, and open warfare between their levies, knights, and retinues.
The first battle of our scenario is raid at Millstream ford. Lord de Werric sends a force to raid a key river crossing, aiming to disrupt Thornbridge's trade route and punish his rival's tenants. Sir Godfrey of Thornbridge rides to intercept. So here, as you can see, we have the Shire of Northmarch, where our campaign is going to take place. And on your left, you see House Alric of Thornbridge, and then on the right you see the leader of House de Werric of Hollowbrook, who is a rebel line, as we said. This is the location where we're going to have our battle, a very critical location, as you can see, with the bridge and the cultivated area, very, very important for the Warren family. But the commanders, the nobles, are not going to take part in this battle, the leaders of the factions. For Sir Alric, you can have Sergeant Hugh of Gaunt, and for Lord de Werric, you can have Sir Osmond the Black. These are the two nobles, these two commanders who are going to lead the forces of their nobles. Let's go and see the characteristics of these two gentlemen. Sergeant Hugh Le Gaunt, he's a hardened foot captain. His background, a common-born mercenary who rose through de Werric's ranks, scarred, ruthless, and feared. His traits: allows one infantry unit to ignore terrain penalties for one turn, represents tactical knowledge. So when he is with a unit, when he's with an army, he allows one unit to ignore any terrain penalties. So that's quite advantageous. Then we go to the other commander, the other leader of this army, Sir Osmond the Black, veteran man at arms and household knight. His background: a grim and loyal warrior from the Welsh marches, known for his brutal efficiency. Rumored to have taken holy vows only to break them in battle. His traits: he gains a +1 in melee against levy units and morale bonus to nearby troops if Alric falls. So if Alric is not there, he can give morale bonus to his units. And let's go and see the army lists. And let's start with Sergeant Hugh Le Gaunt. And he's leading a unit of archers, simple archers. They have a defensive reaction, as you can see, as a characteristic. And you see shooting 6-8, melee 8-8, and resolve 6. They're trained. The first number, 6, is the shooting die required, and the second number is the defense, and the same in melee. The second unit, under Sir Hugh of Gaunt, is a unit of veteran foot sergeants. Veteran sergeants, we present them in Blood and Crowns rules as veteran foot. They don't have any characteristics. Here you see options polearm, but basically this is for the 100 Years' War. They don't shoot, but they defend 6. In melee 6 and 6, and resolve of 6. They're veteran though. The next unit of Hugh of Gaunt is veteran mounted man-at-arms, so basically man-at-arms during the Barons' War. They have mail, so they have the defense 1 rule. That means because the mail was the predominant and the best armor of the period, you have an advantage when you're shot at or when you're attacked. You roll 1 extra die. So if you have 3 hits, you roll 4 dice. They have characteristic of heavy cavalry, they're mounted, they're impetuous, and they're veteran. The next unit is a unit of militia spearmen, so we present them as footmen. They don't have polearms, obviously, this is for the 100 Years' War. They're trained, and you see 7 against shooting, 7 and 7 melee, and resolve of 6. So let's go and see that there is another unit, sorry, I forgot, another unit of archers. These are outlaw archers, similar with the militia archers. You see there is no difference in their stats. So let's go and see Sir Osmond the Black units, and we're starting with veteran man-at-arms on foot. Sir Osmond the Black didn't have time to get the horses. Again, the same characteristics. They have 5 against shooting, they're better. 5 melee and 5 resolve. They have the defense 1, but they don't, and that means that they will roll an extra die. The next unit is a unit of crossbowmen, light crossbowmen. You can see their characteristics. They're trained, shooting 7, defense from shooting 8, melee 8, resolve 6. They have the defensive reaction characteristic. That means that they can shoot once while their opponent's charging, and reload 2. Basically, reload 2 means that when they shoot in full strength, they will put 2 reload markers. They have to take actions to remove these reload markers. Otherwise, if they cannot remove either, they cannot shoot. They haven't managed to, load their crossbow, and that's the meaning of this reload. To show that the crossbows are slower than the longbows. If they remove 1 reload marker, they shoot with half. Then we'll go to veteran foot, who are again the sergeants, foot sergeants. You can see the same as their opponents. And then we have we have feudal levy. These are the peasants who are working in the mill, and obviously they're weak. We have 2 feudal levy. We'll see the next one. They have, again, shooting, a defense of 8, melee 8 and 8, and resolve of 7. Nothing, no special rules. They're inexperienced, but they fight among cattle as if they were in soft cover. So it means that they know how to fight among the animals, among the cattle, so they can protect themselves. It's an advantage. And again, another feudal levy. We have 2 feudal levies, the same characteristics, but the same advantage, and their position is there in the cattle to hold them from basically their raiders trying to steal the cattle. So let's now see the map and the objectives. You can see in the top is the mill. This is the main objective. This objective is the critical one. It has 5 victory points, and this is where Hollowbrook is going to focus. Then we have, you see on the bottom right, the logistics building. Let's say a hut where they have the logistics, they have supplies. It's a secondary objective that has 2 victory points. Then the cattle. The cattle have 1 victory point per cattle, 1 victory point per cattle. Now, the mechanics of the cattle, how it works, this is I got from Baron's War Rules. After every round, if your units are within 1 inch or closer to the cattle than your opponent, or you have more miniatures, you push the cattle towards your side of the table 5 inches. That means you got the cattle, you stole the cattle, it's coming back to you. So all the cattle that are pushed back, they are moving towards your area, your, let's say, part of the battlefield. You get 1 victory point. In order to get victory points for the buildings, you must burn them. They are very, very nice setting on fire rules for blood and crowns, and we're gonna see them during the game. And if you burn and the building keeps burning, and at the end is destroyed, then you gain the victory points. So the main aim for Sir Hollowbrook is obviously the mill that you see here, but again, even the cattle and the logistics building are important. They give them victory points. For Osmond the Black, he needs to defend, he needs to protect the mill. If he protects the mill, he may be able to win the battle. He has the ability to distinguish the fire. It's the same rule that applies for burning the fire. We're going to see it during the battle. So these are the objectives, and this is the terrain, and let's start the battle. So the battle starts, and Hollowbrook is moving towards his objectives, mainly the mill. So Osmond the Black will defend, especially the mill that gives 5 victory points. Osmond the Black is moving coherently with his men-at-arms that he's leading personally. You see the figure in the black and his crossbowman. Now we draw cards. This is for activation. We have 4 of cards and 9 of hearts. 9 of hearts as precedence. I put it the other way around. And Osmond the Black has his actions, and he will move with 2 actions. His sergeants twice. You cannot move more than 2 times, even if you have 3 actions. So he's trying to build a coherent line. He's basically trying to block the archers who are going to try to cross the river. As you can see here, I forgot to mention, but you saw in the introduction of the units, torches are held by the knights, the sergeants, and the archers in order to burn the mill. Here we have the peasants who are going to protect the logistics building. Here in the back, this hut with materials, and obviously the cattle. They fight with an advantage. As we said, here is the objective marker. Here in the front, as we said, we have the mill. Well, it's focused by the 3 units with the torches, and specifically the mounted knights led by Hugh of Gaunt. We continue now, and we move. Sir Osmond the Black is moving his peasants towards the cattle, and Hugh le Gaunt is moving his outlaw archers again closer to the objective. This small movement now phase that the armies are trying to reach each other, and before we start hand-to-hand combat, again you see the 3 units that have the torches, and how this will work I will explain to you during the game. In the other hand, here Osmond the Black is moving coherently. We don't have any problems. They are aligning the sergeants, the men-at-arms, and the crossbowman. The crossbowman are ready to shoot at the mounted knights when they cross the river. Again, a ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, and the movement of Sir Osmond the Black. His own unit is moving twice, so it can block the cross of the sergeants and try to block them and stop them from burning. The sergeants will not stop, will continue. They'll have to cross this small river, but again, it's a difficult ground, and it will delay them. The second movement will be a half movement, but they continue. Now you can see now we're almost ready for our first major clash between the men-at-arms of Osmond the Black and the sergeants of Hugh of Gaunt. We have a weather event by drawing the cards, a weather change. We roll an 8, and that would mean, as you can see on the table, that we have a +1 wind, +1, and the current turn gives advantage in shooting. So if Hugh of Gaunt shoots, he will get a +1. We continue with now the archers are trying to take advantage of the situation. They're moving across the river. They're going to try to shoot, but still the distance is not close enough. We continue with drawing cards that give us activation, and you can see the spades have precedence, and that means that Sergeant Hugh of Gaunt will move his mounted knights twice, 2 actions, and they will cross the river from the bridge, and they're ready to charge. Their aim is the crossbowman, a strong unit missile-wise, but weak in hand-to-hand combat. It's a little bit isolated, unprotected. So the crossbowman now, its turn of Sir Osmond the Black, will shoot, will try to inflict wounds to the mounted knights led by Hugh of Gaunt, and try to weaken them before any hand-to-hand combat starts. And they are in quite close range, so there won't be any major negative modifiers, and they will shoot with 6 dice. There are 6 crossbowmen, and they have light crossbow, so you can see they hit with an 8, with a 7. So you can see here we have a 9, a 0, and a 7. We have 3 possible hits against the mounted knights. The mounted knights will have to defend with a +6, and they have also, because they have armor defense 1 rule, they get an extra dice. You know, the chainmail at the period was the predominant, the best armor, so they get an extra dice. So they managed to defend all the hits. That was bad shooting or great defense from the mounted knights. The chain mails stop the shooting, and no now nothing, no wounds, no kills. So we continue with the movement of the peasants who are now moving within, among, let's say the correct way, their cattle. Their cattle, as I said at the beginning of this battle, gives a -1 soft cover modifier. They know how to fight between their cattle. They know how to move. They are, they don't have armor, so they're fast, they're mobile. Now they're creating a line of defense to counter the movement of the spear militia. The spear militia now moving, crossing the river, and in the back you see the outlaw archers. So we're starting to getting close to our first hand-to-hand combat. So here's the location. What we have the sergeants ready to cross the river. We have the sergeants of Osmond the Black and the foot knights who are there moving towards the banks of the river to protect the male, and the crossman who shot at the mounted knights unsuccessfully without any real results. Here, the two levy units are ready to fight. So we draw cards and we have 10 and 8 of spades, not spades, excuse me, of clubs, and the Osmond now, Hugh of Gaunt, will charge at his crossbowman with 2 actions. He doesn't need more. Basically, 1 action's charge attack. Now, the crossbowmen have a defensive reaction as a characteristic. They roll and they score 1 hit. When you have a defensive reaction, you don't have modifiers for distance. So they roll 1 hit that Osmond the Black and that Sergeant Hugh of Gaunt has to defend. We know about this defense 1 rule. They need a 6, and they fail both. Well, they fail 1, it's not both. So we have 1 casualty. That's great defensive reaction from the crossbowman and a resolve test. The resolve is failed because they need a +5. They roll a 1. That means they will get fatigued. Not very, very good, but now the charge materializes. Even though they're fatigued and have 1 casualty, the mounted knights led by Hugh of Gaunt are very powerful in comparison with the crossbowmen. So we need to hit with a 5, and as you can see, we roll a 6, a 7, and a 0. 3 hits, 3 possible hits against a defense of 8 of the light crossbowman. Obviously, the light crossbowmen fail all. You can see 3, 1, and 4 all fail. So we have 3 casualties, as you can see in the top card. And now we have to take a resolve test. A resolve test, a very dangerous resolve test that has to be taken with 4 dice. So 3 casualties for the crossbowman, very expected. And now let's take the resolve test. 3 dice for the wounds, for the kills, and 1 resolve die, and we need a +6, and we roll an 8, a 9, a 0, and a 2. Excellent rolling from the crossbow, and they will get only fatigued, as you can see on the card above, and they're not going to be pushed back. Very, very good. Very good defense. Now we're moving with the archers. The outlaw archers who moved across the river are going to shoot at the peasant. The peasant levy is quite weak. So we have only 1, where the distance gives us a +1 negative modifier or positive modifier. So we need a 7 to hit. The outlaw archers roll a 7, a 4, a 0, a 5, and 3 zeros basically. Very good shooting. 4 possible hits against the peasants who are going to defend. Don't forget that the peasants get a -1 soft cover defense die, so they need a 7. So you see how this helped. These all would have been wounds. We would have had 4 wounds, but now with the 2 7s, they managed to save 2 shots. They're fighting in between their cattle, they're hiding, and that means they will have 2 hits only. So 2 casualties for the peasant levy of Sir Osmond the Black. Now they have to roll for a resolve test, and they have to roll a 7 and above, 2 wounds on the resolve die, and they roll a 7 only and a 5 and a 2. That means that they will get double fatigued, and they get 2 casualties. No, things are not looking very good for the peasants on the right flank or the left flank of Sir Osmond the Black. Let's see, because shooting, the outlaws are on the river, but they have the possibility of shooting at them. So Ace of Spades, 9 of Diamonds. Spades have precedence for Osmond the Black, but gives only not many action. Spades have precedence always, but they don't have many actions. So Osmond the Black and his foot knights will move towards the banks of the river, and they will wait. They don't want to cross. They cannot cross anyway, and they will wait for the sergeants to attack. They get a positive modifier from the banks of the river, give them like a terrain soft cover, so this will be advantageous. Now, 9 of diamonds, we're going to use the archers of Hewlett, and they're going to shoot. The distance is 8 inches, I think, and we're rolling. Let's roll on the table. We need a +8 to 8+6 to hit, and we have 3, 4, 5 possible. Here we have 3 possible hits, that the sergeants need to defend. The defense of the sergeants for shooting is 6. So let's see, they're going to defend. So we roll a 2, a 4, and a 7. So we have 1 save and 2 hits for the sergeant, 2 casualties for the sergeants, who have to take a resolve test. The resolve with 6, they pass all 3. So no pushing back for the sergeants. They stay in position. But now the sergeants, in the next round, probably they will try to attack. So 9 and 5, the 5 of hearts has precedence, and the sergeants of Hugh of Gaunt are going to attack the men-at-arms of Sir Osmond the Black. Don't forget, in this unit is Sir Osmond the Black. So we roll for the sergeants, and you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible hits. They rolled the hit with a +6, and now Sir Osmond the Black will defend. They need a +5. His knights will defend with the +5. Quite good roll, but there's quite a lot of hits. Let's see now, but this is critical because the commander of the opponent is there, and it's a terrible roll. He saves 2, but he fails the other 3. So we have 3 casualties immediately from the foot knights, commanded and led by Sir Osmond the Black, and they have to take a resolve test with 4 dice. So we have 3 casualties. You see 5 here, I will correct it, and we'll have 5 dice to see for a resolve test, and it is a 5, and we pass all of them. That's good roll, very good roll from Sir Osmond the Black. So we don't have any issues here. The commander is only going to get 1 fatigue because of the -1. So 3 resolve, 2 fatigues. The 5, it was a 6, but I will fix it in the next part. So we continue now with charging of the foot sergeants. The foot sergeants are charging towards the archers, but they have a defensive reaction, and they will shoot without any negative modifier, so they need a 6 to shoot, and they roll. So we have a 7 here, a 7, and nothing else. So 2 possible hits to stop the charge of the sergeants. Now the sergeants have to defend, and the sergeants defend with a +6, as you can see from shooting. And if they manage to defend, they will continue their charge. If they don't, maybe they will be pushed back depending on the result test. So they pass both. So the shooting does nothing to the foot sergeants in order to stop them in the tracks, and the charging materializes. And there is another hand-to-hand combat now, and the sergeants charge. They roll their dice and have 2 hits, and they roll 5 dice, 6 dice, and they need to hit with a +6. Quite a good score, 4 possible hits. That there is a defense roll from the archers, who are very weak. They need 8. They defend 1, but they get 3 casualties, and this is terrible for the archers. Obviously, sergeants are much more powerful. They fail 3 of their resolve tests, and that means that they will get triple fatigued, and that means they're shaken, and that means they will be pushed back 4 inches. Great victory for Sir Osmond the Black, pushing back the archers of Hewlett. A lot of casualties. It was a massacre in the river, but the superior sergeants, the well-equipped sergeants, the stronger sergeants, just destroyed and pushed back the archers, who, let's see if they can recover from this. The sergeants are not following up. They will consolidate 1 inch. They want to be close to the mill. They want to go back and protect their commander. 2 of spades, 7 of clubs, 2 of spades has precedence, as you can see. And let's see what Hugh of Gaunt will do. He is now trying to finish and get some victory points. The peasants of Osmond the Black and the spear militia are gonna charge now towards the peasant levy. Don't forget, the peasants fight with a -1 soft cover modifier. So the peasants have to defend 1 hit from the spearmen. They have soft cover, so instead of an 8, they need a 7, and they roll a 3, and they fail, and they get 1 casualty in the charge of the spear militia. 1 casualty, but they have nothing more. They have 1 fatigue. So we continue now with the peasants who are going to try to rally. They're going to try to rally. They need a 7. They roll the resolve test, and they successfully rally to remove 1 fatigue point. Hard fighting for the peasants. And now they're going to attack back. They're attacking back the militia spearmen. They read to roll an 8, and they roll an 8 and a 7 and another. So you have basically 2 hits from the 8, 2 8s basically. And let's roll back to defend for the militia spearmen who defend only 1 hit, and they will do a resolve test, and the resolve test needs to be of 6 and above, and they fail both. Disaster. They have 1 casualty and 2 fatigue points, and the peasants are fighting hard to protect their cattle, protect their mill, protect their commander. So a big problem for the militia spearmen, who now are sunk in between the cattle, and the peasants are attacking them from all sides. So the second levy unit is charging the militia spearmen of Hugh of Gaunt. They need an 8 and above, and they roll 2 possible hits, and they have to defend their footmen. The spearmen have to defend with a +7. So they fail both 2 casualties, and they fail the resolve test as well. So they become shaken, and they have to be pushed back. So the peasants, in combination, combine their forces, and they manage to push the much higher quality militia spearmen of Hugh of Gaunt, making them in a shaken state with 2 casualties, and the units will be pushed back 4 inches. They will go up to the banks of the river. The peasants obviously are not going to follow, and they're going to stay within the cattle. So we have the archers who are going to move towards their opponents. They are outlaw archers. They are already ready to shoot, as you can see with the marker, and they're shooting with a +1 modifier, negative modifier. They need basically a 6 to shoot, but they have to roll now a 7 because of the modifier, and we're rolling, and we have no hits at all, unsuccessfully totally. So the peasants managed to hide behind their cattle, managed to avoid shooting. So let's go and see the objectives now, and we're talking about the cattle. We talked about this, and we said that any movement, any cattle that is within 1 inch or is surrounded by more enemies, it will be pushed back 5 inches towards the location, towards the table edge of the army. So let us see. We see the cattle that are closer to Osmond the Black. He will move them 5 inches. So these cattle, these victory points, these cattle are taken, are grabbed. The outlaw archers and the spear militia managed to already steal 2 cattle from their opponents. Their opponents are pushing the cattle back, and now we continue with shooting again. They have a +1 negative modifier. The archers are very effective of Hugh of Gaunt because they can stay far away and shoot and create problems. So we need a +7 to successfully hit, and it's an excellent hit of 4 possible hits, 4 scores from the outlaw archers, who are very, very successful and very effective in the right flank of Hugh of Gaunt. The peasants defend. They have a soft cover, remember, but you see they would have defended with an 8+, but because they are around the cattle, they need a 7+, and that gives them a great advantage. And you see here, instead of 4 hits, they have only 2, so 2 casualties only, and they have to take a resolve test. A resolve test, they have to roll 3 dice, and they need a +7 to pass. Again, you see how soft cover played a very, very important role. So we roll and we see, and we pass 1 resolve test, so we get
double fatigued. The peasants get double fatigued, and they're getting weaker. It seems that they're fighting the best they can, but it's obviously the superiority and the missile fire of the outlaw archers. It's not something that the very weak and ineffective armor of the peasants cannot really they cannot really defend much. So Osmond the Black will try to rally his troops and remove the fatigue points with a +5. He removes 1 fatigue point, and he will be only fatigued, and he attacks back the sergeants with he needs a +5, and he rolls only a 0, and that is terrible. The sergeants defend, and they need a 3. They defend with a +6. They fail, and they take a resolve test. They pass 1 resolve test, so they have 1 casualty, and they get fatigued, but nothing major, nothing that can create problems to the sergeants who fight back with a +6. I have a lot of sergeants there, +6, and that means that they have only 1 hit against Osmond the Black, who defends with a 5+, and he defends a 1 and he fails, and there is another casualty, and he has to take a resolve test, and the resolve test again he fails. Terrible rolling from Osmond the Black, the actual commander. We have rerolls in Blood and Crowns that I'm not using in my campaign, so that means they will get another casualty, and we will go to 4 casualties, if I am not mistaken, 3 casualties, and he gets another fatigue point, so he has 3 fatigue points, and he's shaken, and he will be pushed back from leaving the space open to the sergeants in order to cross the river. So Huogaunt breaks the crossbowmen. The crossbowmen are broken, are destroyed. Now we continue on the left flank, where we have the peasant levy charging. That's the only thing they can do. They can charge and avoid being shot at, because when you're fighting hand-to-hand combat, you cannot be shot at. They charge and they need a +8 to hit the spear militia. Spear and spear now fighting. It's a ferocious battle. The peasants are fighting for their mill and their livelihood. And now we need an 8+, and we roll an 8 and a 9 and another 9. It's a quite good roll from the peasants, 3 possible hits. That the sergeants, that the militia spearmen of Hugh of Gaunt have to defend with a +7. They defend, they fail all 3, and this is terrible. They have to take now a resolve test. You have 3 casualties, and you have to take a resolve test, and that's really, really bad. The unit is almost destroyed, actually. And now we don't have fighting back because the spearmen are destroyed. We have precedence of the 8 of diamonds, and Sir Osmond the Black is going to try and rally again his troops. He manages to rally only 1 and remove another fatigue point, and he'll become double fatigued. The sergeants now are pressing their advantage. They know that it's almost over. Osmond the Black has only 2 men-at-arms supporting him, and at the same time the sergeants of Osmond the Black and trying to really recover and the advantage and attack the archers. But the archers fought back and pushed back the sergeants, and the same happened with the outlaw archers, who pushed back during their defensive reaction the levy spearmen. So very, very successful. It seems that it's a very, very successful missile. The missiles are doing their job. Now Osmond Hugh of Gaunt is rallying his units to remove the fatigue points after they got rid of the crossbowmen, and he decides to charge in the rear Osmond the Black. And Osmond the Black is in really big trouble now with casualties, fatigued. He's trying to do his best, but I think the battle is over. We need to see only if we manage to burn the mill. So Hugh of Gaunt's knights charge, and they need a +5, and they score 2 possible hits. For Osmond the Black will defend with a +5, and he successfully defends 1, and but he has to take a resolve test, and he successfully passes 1, but then again he's becoming shaken. He failed 1. He's double fatigued. He rallied, and he has nowhere to go. His unit is destroyed. He's flanked by his deadly opponent, and Osmond the Black is basically captured. He's a prisoner. This is not a victory points. This is basically he's not going to be able to fight on the next battle, because in the next battle the commanders are going to join in, and they will have also the sub-commanders, so they're not going to be able to join. So we have 7 of hearts and 7 of diamonds. Hearts has precedence, and this would probably mean that Osmond the Black will try to rally his the sergeants of Osmond the Black will try to rally and remove some fatigue points. They roll a 7 and a 0 and a 6. Sorry, I put the card on the right-hand side where you've gone to is. They should have been on the left side where Osmond the Black is. So they managed to rally and remove 2 fatigue points. I think things are looking quite bad at the moment. I don't think they have a lot of chances of doing anything. Let us see. So they managed to rally, but they're not going to do anything else. Here we have the sergeants who, as I told you, have torches, and they will try to start the fire of the main objective. The sergeants are 8. They need 1 action to lit the torches and 2 actions to be able to roll to put fire on the building without knowing the result. So we need to roll a 10 out of a D with a D12, but we can remove 1 for every miniature of the unit. So we need a 2. So I don't have the roll here, but we rolled the 2 and we managed to put fire on the building. But the critical roll will be at the end, where we're going to see if the building burns. So we continue now with the peasants who are trying to, help as much as they can. They change their aim. They stopped protecting the cattle. They see the mill is under fire, and they move to attack and help as much as they can. A last-ditch attempt. The outlaw archers destroyed the other peasant unit. It broken. The archers did an excellent job. Both archers and the 2 flanks did an excellent job. So all cattle are up for grabs. There's nothing else remaining defending their 2nd and 3rd objectives. Here we continue again. As we said, the fire is burning, but we don't know the result of the fire. But now the mounted knights, with the action they will get, now we have 6 of spades and 9 of spades. For sure, it's for Hugh of Gaunt. Hugh of Gaunt, mounted knights under his command, will attack the peasants. They will charge them and finish them off. They have a +5 when charging. They need a +5 to roll in order to successfully hit and kill their opponent or hit their opponent. So we have a 0, a 0, a 6, and a 7. So 4 possible hits that the peasant levy has to defend with a +8. So let's see if they will manage to defend, because obviously 4 hits are quite substantial. So 0, 7, 6, and 9. They defend basically 2 hits. So they will get 2 casualties, and they will become also fatigued. They are fatigued already, but they will become fatigued. Let's roll to see the fatigue. And they roll and they successfully, so 1 fatigue, they get 1 fatigue point. Yeah, that was a little bit earlier than the roll. So we continue. Things are very, very bad. And now the time is to see if we're going to burn the effects of fire of the previous round. So if we roll 1, there is no effect. So we fail. 2 and 7, we have debris. So any units are there, they're going to be, get hits. 8 and 9, the fire spreads, and 10 is a total collapse. 8 and 9, fire spreads. If we roll it and there is no subsequent structures for the fire to spread, it's like a total collapse. So our main aim now, in order for us to win the battle, is to roll above 8. And they roll a 9. And 9 is rolled, and the mill is on fire. So everything is on fire. The building, the mill is on fire. The supply chain is destroyed. Everything is burned. Cattle are stolen. Sir Osmond the Black, the sub-commander, is captured. And I think it's a devastating victory for Hugh of Gaunt and Sir Alric. Osmond the Black is captured, so he's not going to be able to participate in the second battle that the commanders will participate themselves. I think it was a devastating victory. It was a total victory, and let us go and see what's the victory points, how are divided, and what's coming up next. victory points. Now, let's see what's happening in the next battle and how this influences. The first battle influences the second one. So, Sir Alric and Lord de Werric. Sir Alric, regarding the cattle, as you saw, managed to steal 3 cattle and gets 3 victory points. Sir Lord de Werric managed to keep 5 cattle, and he has 5 victory points. He managed to save 5 cattle. So let's go now to the next objective, and that was the small hut that was like a logistics that Lord de Werric managed to hold, and he gets another 2 victory points, and that's very important. But now let's go to the main objective, the mill that Alric's forces managed to burn, and this means 5 victory points for Lord Alric. And let's see now the total. The total means that we have 8 victory points for Sir Alric and 7 for Lord de Werric. And let's see the results now. What is the repercussions for the next battle? Now, Thornbridge's feud supply is damaged. De Werric's forces suffer a -1 resolve penalty in the next battle. And 2, Alric's troops gain momentum, and he receives a small levy of local volunteers for the next fight, an extra unit. These probably are the peasants who were protecting the mill, so that Sir Alric is powerful. He managed to beat his opponent in the first battle, the first skirmish, and they changed side. So this for me, guys. This is the first part of the campaign. We have another 2. I hope you enjoyed, and let's see what's going to happen in the next one. Let's see if Lord de Werric can manage to balance the power and manage to fight back at Sir Alric and take revenge for this destruction of his supplies. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.